So, where's my guy? There he is!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you missed in The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2.
There. The entrance to the mines of Mandalore.
For this list, we're looking at some of the most interesting details to be found in Chapter 18 of this Star Wars series, The Mines of Mandalore. If you haven't seen the episode yet, there will be spoilers. Is there anything you noticed? And deep cut, but do the Alamites remind you of the Morlocks from H.G. Wells' The Time Machine? Let us know. Number 10. R5-D4's history.
It's falling apart, and besides, I got no room for it on the N1.
Nonsense. R5-D4 is as good as a day came back from serving in the rebellion.
While R5-D4 has been seen before on the show, it's the first time we're getting mention of his galactic Civil War history. Surprisingly, we're already pretty aware of this R5's exploits, he being one of the original droids. All the way back in A New Hope, R5 is seen alongside R2-D2 and C-3PO as the Jawas look to sell them to Uncle Owen. Luke even picks out R5 specifically, but R2 secretly lets him know his importance to the rebellion.
Uncle Owen!
Yeah?
This R2 unit has a bad motivator, look!
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Excuse me, sir, but that R2 unit is in prime condition, a real bargain.
R5 then willingly malfunctions, prompting Luke to settle on R2 and eventually receive Leia's message, which sparks the whole plot.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
What's this?
What is what?
R5 seriously doesn't get enough credit, but it's fun to see he's still acting up for our heroes.
Don't be a baby. Just get the samples we need, and hurry up.
Number 9. Pressurized helmet. Upon arriving on Mandalore, Din Djarin is forced to activate his pressurized helmet, just in case the atmosphere isn't breathable after the surface was completely scorched.
I'll pressurize my helmet. Seal yourself in your pod. Be right back.
It may just be a universal Star Wars thing, but Mando's breathing system sounds like that of another character who needs an apparatus assist. That's probably the closest point of comparison between Mando and Darth Vader, but we just calls him like we sees him. In any case, Mando doesn't have to rely on the thing for very long, as it's eventually revealed that the atmosphere is in fact breathable. Though, kinda convenient that so many in a galaxy far, far away are.
The charts were wrong. The atmosphere is breathable. Bo-Katan was right. Mandalore is not cursed.
Number 8. Sewers of Sundari.
The mines should be further down. I guess we're on our own from here.
Sundari is obviously a huge callback to the Clone Wars series, with this being the first time we're seeing it in live action, aside from brief flashbacks. But we do see one location within the city in particular that harkens back to Clone Wars somewhat.
These waters should flow down to the mines and the living waters within.
When Mando and Grogu descend into the city, they travel through a decrepit sewer system that looks similar to the Undercity seen in the final season of the animated show.
What's down there?
System of tunnels, sewage ports mainly, some conduit access pipes.
Do they lead outside the city?
Unknown, sir.
Ahsoka Tano and others are sent down there to meet with Maul, only to be led into a trap.
I was hoping for Kenobi. Why are you here?
Here too, Mando enters a trap, but a little more on that later. Become a Watch Mojo channel member and get exclusive perks like Mojo emojis, loyalty badges, priority comment replies, and exclusive members-only content, including live list rankings with the Mojo staff and peeks behind the scenes. Don't miss out! Number 7. Concordia. Upon reaching the Mandalore system, Mando points out the moon of Concordia, revealing that it's where he grew up.
I grew up there, on that moon. Concordia.
If you know your Star Wars history, this won't be too surprising.
Mandalore's violent past is behind us. All of our warriors were exiled to our moon, Concordia. They died out years ago.
Are you certain?
In the Clone Wars, Concordia is used as a hideout for the Mandalorian terrorist group known as the Death Watch. Death Watch opposes new Mandalorian leadership that sees to do away with their ancient warrior customs.
But if Pre Vizsla fled, we have no way of learning how widespread Death Watch really is.
Seeing as the children of the Watch was essentially birthed from Death Watch, and that Mando was brought up under the Watch, it makes sense that he'd come from Concordia directly.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Number 6. Darksaber usage. While not an outright Easter egg, it is interesting to note how the Darksaber is being utilized since Mando was last seen wielding it in the Book of Boba Fett. While Mando is victorious in his battle against the Alamites, he's still shown to have difficulty lifting the thing, though it's not exactly an issue with weight. Later, when Bo-Katan is going up against the spider-like cyborg thing, she's shown to be incredibly proficient with the blade. While she didn't win it in combat, just like she didn't in Star Wars Rebels, the key factor may have more to do with one's will relative to it than anything else. This may be an indication that the saber is better off in the hands of Bo-Katan.
I accept this sword for my sister, for my clan, and for all of Mandalore.
Number 5. Lurmen. While only a minor species in Star Wars, the Lurmen get a long overdue shout-out here. When Grogu reunites with Peli Motto, he flips into her arms with enthusiasm, prompting this comment.
Who taught you how to leap like a Lurmen, huh?
The comparison is quite apt, as the Lurmen are a monkey-like species living on the Outer Rim planet of Meriden. They appear in 2 episodes of The Clone Wars where they heal Anakin Skywalker back to health, only to be drawn into their conflict with the Separatists.
You must leave before your enemies find you.
But you'll need our help. You can't fight them alone.
We will not fight them at all. We would rather die than to kill others.
This is a huge deal for the Lurmen, who are pacifist to a fault. This might be where the similarities end, as though not particularly violent, Grogu ain't exactly a pacifist.
No, stop! We're friends! Cara is my friend!
Number 4. Boonta Eve. While Mando visits Motto and Mos Eisley, he learns that the city is celebrating Boonta Eve, as even a pod race can be seen in the streets.
Hey, get the Jawas back in here before they hit the cantina. You know how Mos Eisley gets during Boonta Week.
To give a brief theology lesson, Boonta Eve is a Tatooine holiday that celebrates a specific Hutt's ascension to godhood. But more interesting is where it previously appeared in Star Wars.
I built a racer. It's the fastest ever. There's a big race tomorrow on Boonta Eve. You could enter my pod.
If you heard the word pod race and immediately perked up, you'll be happy to know that Anakin's race in The Phantom Menace is also organized to celebrate Boonta Eve. Honestly, we'd celebrate Boonta Eve over Life Day any day.
Happy Life Day. Happy Life Day, everyone.
Number 3. Helmet Trap. As Mando and Grogu traverse the Sundari Undercity, they come across a withered Mandalorian helmet in the wreckage. This, however, turns out to be a trap set by the cyborg-like being.
Get to Bo-Katan.
While not a one-to-one comparison, this did remind us of an episode of Clone Wars where Boba Fett employs a similar tactic. In the episode R2 Come Home, Boba booby-traps his father Jango's helmet in a ship wreckage, hoping to lure in Mace Windu in revenge for killing Jango.
Clone cadets. Jango Fett. Boba.
Anakin, no! Drop it!
Windu's able to put the pieces together soon enough to save both himself and Anakin Skywalker, but the explosion leaves both of them pinned down and helpless.
I need you to go back to the fighters and call the temple for help, okay? Okay?
Thankfully, R2 retrieves help, much like Grogu does here. Number 2. Kryze royal family.
The mines have been here for thousands of years. The living waters are in the chambers below.
Have you been there?
Yes, when I was a child.
While we, as Star Wars fans, are familiar with Bo-Katan's history, The Mandalorian itself hasn't mentioned too many specifics until now. While trekking to the living waters, Bo-Katan reveals being inducted there while her father, Adonai Kryze, looked on with pride.
Maybe he was proud.
I know he was. I didn't embarrass him in front of everyone.
Your father sounds like an interesting man. I would have liked to have known him.
He was a great man.
While not named here, we know Adonai was killed in the Great Clan Wars, being succeeded by Duchess Satine Kryze, Bo-Katan's sister. While she's not even alluded to here, this does give more insight into how jarring the transition was, as Satine's pacifistic nature uprooted the warrior ways of traditionalists like Adonai.
Why are you helping now?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
There was a time when we weren't enemies. Perhaps that time has come again.
We only hope we learn more about these histories as the show looks forward to Mandalore's future. Number 1. Mythosaur.
According to ancient folklore, the mines were once a mythosaur lair. Mandalore the Great is said to have tamed the mythical beast. It is from these legends that the skull signet was adopted and became the symbol of our planet.
Granted, if you were paying attention, you probably have an idea what this is. But let us confirm. Yes, that is a freaking mythosaur. While we don't get a good look at the thing, you can bet that it will play as big of a part in future events as its kind did for ancient Mandalorians. Star Wars fans are familiar with prophecies in the galaxy, so it bears pointing out the one the Armorer mentions in the Book of Boba Fett.
The songs of eons past foretold of the mythosaur rising up to herald a new age of Mandalore.
Should this be the forthcoming of the new age of Mandalore? We have a lot to look forward to. But if Mando ends up riding the mythosaur, let's hope he looks cooler than Boba riding the Pars Ichthyodont in the holiday special.
Settle down. All they do is eat.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.